Hello everyone and welcome back to Granted Gardens. My name is Melissa and today we're going to talk a little bit about something new we're doing with our chickens. Over the last 6 months there's been some talk on the streets about chicken feed and chickens laying, but we're not going to get into the details of that conversation today because that's not what this video is about. This video today is just about me sharing with you that I'm learning how to do something new, which is entirely what this channel is about. I like to share some of the things that I do brand new as I'm growing on my 1.5 acre homestead here in Maryland. And so one thing that Tyler and I recently decided we wanted to start doing was making our own chicken feed. Back in 2020, Tyler and I decided that we wanted to get chickens and raise them here in our backyard homestead. March of 2020, we got 8 chicks and we raised them here on the homestead. We had them in the house in a brooder in the basement for the first 6 weeks, and then Tyler built this really awesome coop and run and we moved them out here. So over the last handful of years, we have raised multiple chicks. Some we've hatched chicks from broody hens, and we've learned how to butcher as well. We always used to typically just kind of run up to Tractor Supply and buy, feed. And it's funny because over the last 5-6 years, I've dove so far into human consumption from the food system and how weak it is, and the cracks and the crevices and what hides there. And I never really ventured into what we're feeding our animals. I was always so focused on what I was consuming. And so over the last 6 months, it's kind of opened my eyes that, hey, I should probably pay a little bit more attention to the food that my animals are eating as well. So there's been a lot of research involved in this process, and we're finally trying out our first recipe. So I did my homework. I went on quite a few YouTube channels, kind of followed people that make their own. I've also went online and just done as much research as I possibly could. And I kind of came up with the concept that a lot of the standard chicken feed is pretty straightforward. You can add obviously other things to your chicken feed if you want to get fancy with it. But the real concept is that you, at the end of the day, you really just want to make sure that you've got enough protein for your hens to stay healthy. Obviously, one of the things that we're looking forward to getting from our hens are eggs. So you want to make sure that you're offering enough protein in their diet so that they're able to produce really healthy eggs. A little bit later, I'm going to share with you exactly what our ratio is that we're currently feeding. I've got it written down on the bucket. But for right now, you can kind of see this is what I've got. This is what we're working with. So we've got peas in here, corn, oats, grains, and it's all finely ground. Now, the first time that I really tried to do this, a few days back when I first introduced the new food to the hens, I'd come out here and kind of poured some in my hand and went up to them and let them peck at it just to see what it was that they went for first, just to see if there was anything that they weren't taking. And one of the things that they were not taking were the split peas. I'd purposely purchased split peas, and the concept was that maybe they were just far too big for them. It needed to be smaller. So Tyler actually bought me a mill for my birthday, and I got an early birthday present so I could ground up some of the rest of our chicken feed. Got it down to about this size, and they absolutely love it. Now, the old food feed we have is still in the trough. So some of the feed that we were using previously is still in the trough, and they haven't touched it. They've only gone to the section that there was the new stuff. So I think it's chicken approved. Let's check it out. So I'm really trying to keep track of what they're looking for, their favorite parts of this, and maybe anything that they're leaving behind, because we right now have a 5-gallon bucket of it. So if there is anything that we need to alter, we don't have it in like massive bulk, so we can still change things. So I'm gonna go back to the trough here that I fed them some of the new mix the other day and see if there's anything left, kind of figure out what their favorite part was. All right, so you can see, now this is self-feeding, so after they eat through it, it does come out this side and fill up. But I am looking, and you can see some of these peas are still just the size of split peas. They're not really ground enough. And those were what was left behind. Which, like I said, I'm still learning my new mill. Like, I have never used a grain mill before. And I had noticed as I was getting further along, grinding more of the chicken feed, that one of the nozzles had loosened up, and it's one of the nozzles that make it like more compact, more smaller pieces. And so now I'm learning, like, I have to hold on to that, or at least turn it to keep it tight pretty frequently as I'm grinding in order to keep the size small. So you say, Melissa, so what's the benefits of making your own chicken food? Or why would you even worry about your chicken food, right? For the same reasons that you would worry about what you're eating and what you're consuming, for the same reasons why you would rather grow your own food in your backyard as opposed to go to the grocery store and buy it. It's just more control. So now I know exactly what's going into my chicken feed, which then furthermore is going to be what goes into the egg, which furthermore is going to be what I ingest. So this is just, again, one of those ways of learning a new skill and hopefully finding ways to kind of control what we need here on the homestead a little bit more. Now, I'm brand new to this, and I just looked for places that I could potentially go to get the materials that I needed to make this chicken feed. And I ended up out in Hagerstown, Maryland. I went to a local like mom and pop shop that's more bulk food for people, and I bought half of the stuff that I needed there, and then I had gone to a local feed store and got the other half of the stuff that I need. It wasn't the cheapest thing to do. And so Tyler and I came back and we kind of evaluated where we are on cost of this, and per pound, I think it was more expensive. I want to say, like, when we did the math, it was almost double what we would pay for per pound at the, Tractor Supply. So I need to still find a better resource for obtaining the products that we need in order to make this chicken feed. So it's still a work in progress. Again, my concept was we're going to bring it home, we're going to try it out, we're going to learn how it works, what they like, what they don't like, before we go out and like really try and perfect this. So y'all wanted to know the recipe for what we're currently making for our chickens. This concoction, what you just saw, is 8 pounds of corn, 8 pounds of field peas, 6 pounds of wheat, and 1 pound of oats. Tyler and I have done the math on that. And as far as protein goes, we have hit well at 16% of protein. I know that we were actually a little bit over once we did the math on it. Really what this is going to be about, what I've concluded, is that it's about trial and error. I was scared to mess with the food because there's such a push for protein percentages, and I know that that's important and that's required. I was like scared I was going to kill my chickens. I don't know. And one thing that I've learned doing this lifestyle and living and learning all of the things that come along with homesteading is that fear is going to hold you back. Fear is going to be the number one thing that stops you. And if you can't get over that fear, you will never learn. And so one thing that I continuously tell myself when I come face to face with situations that generate fear, I cannot do anything about it and never learn and just live in my fear and count on other people to provide for me. Or I can gain my courage, I can try my best. If I fail, I have to get back up and try again. So I hope that this encourages you guys to try something new today. If you make your own chicken feed, please comment below. I'd love to chat with you and kind of hear feedback and get, what works for you, what doesn't. We do also have oyster shells that I purchased to provide them periodically as well. So we're still learning, but it's a process. And no matter what, we're going to come out on the other side learning how to do something for ourselves that we didn't know how to do before. So I'm really excited about that. So as always, thank you guys so much for watching, and I look forward to sharing more with you soon.